Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to solve a few questions on the topic motion from IGCSE past paper from the year 2023. Okay, so let's start with a few multiple choice questions. First question, which list contains two scalar quantities and two vector quantities? So to understand this, you should first know what is a scalar quantity and what is a vector quantity. So before we go to what is scalar and vector, do you know what is physical quantities? So physical quantities are nothing but any kind of quantity that we can measure. It will have a measurable value followed by a unit. Those are called physical quantities. Those measurable value followed by the unit are called physical quantities. So scalar and vector are two classification of physical quantities. Scalar quantities are those physical quantities which will have just the magnitude and the unit. For example, let me take time. Time, it is 2 o'clock now, or let's say it's been 2 hours. Then 2 will be the magnitude and hours will be the unit. So such kind of physical quantities are called scalar quantities or are classified as scalar quantities. And vector quantities will have magnitude unit followed by a specific direction. Any physical quantities with magnitude and a direction we call as vector quantities. For example, uh, let's say uh, a particular car is moving with a velocity of 30 meter per second towards north. So that 30 meter per second is a magnitude, meter per second is a unit, and the direction north, which is being specified, right? So such quantities with the magnitude and the direction are called vector quantities. So our job today is to find out from the given options two scalar and two vector quantities. So let's say option A, distance. Distance is a scalar quantity. Speed, again, it is a scalar quantity. Time, it doesn't have any direction. These three doesn't have any direction. Time again is a scalar quantity. What about velocity? It is a vector quantity. So does it meet the question? No. We just need two scalar quantities and two vector quantities from the option. So here we have three scalar and one vector. So no, A is not the correct choice. Next, let's go to B, option B. Force. Force is a vector quantity. It will have a direction. Velocity again is a vector quantity. Distance, scalar. Mass is also scalar. So option B just does meet the demand from the question, which is two scalar and two vector. So we have come with the conclusion that option B is a correct answer. So do you want me to check out C and D as well, just for your information? So let's just check out. Mass, as already mentioned, it is scalar. Energy is scalar. Temperature, again a scalar. Momentum is a vector quantity because it is dependent on velocity. Weight, it has direction, so it is vector. Acceleration, again it is dependent on velocity, so we have to put it under the category of vector quantities. Momentum vector. Speed is a scalar quantity. So in this question the correct answer is option B. So moving ahead, the diagram shows a speed time graph for a car. So the speed, this graph actually shows a graphical representation of the speed with which a car is moving with time. Okay, so which road describes the motion of the car at point X and at point Y? So these are the 2 points. So let's, before moving on to the options, let me just show you the different graphs, how it looks when an object, how does a speed time graph look when an object is at rest, moving with constant speed and moving with a acceleration. So if this is a speed time graph, if an object is at rest, it will not have any speed. The speed will be zero, the speedometer will not show anything. So it will be a horizontal line on top of, horizontal line on next to 0. So actually there is a small gap over here which should not happen. This is just to make you understand it should be over 0. Okay, if an object is at rest. Next, if an object is moving with changing speed, or it is accelerating, it is increasing its speed, then what happens? You can say if it initially it is at 10, then this would be the point speed with time. And if it is 20, again the speed is changing. So if a speed is changing or accelerating, then our graph will be steeper like this. More the speed, the more steeper it will look. Next one, if an object is at constant speed, say an object is moving at 30 meter per second. So if this point is 30, then you will have a horizontal line. Only the time will change. The speed will remain the same as 30. So it is a horizontal line at the point of 30 meter per second. So keeping this in mind, can we conclude? What can we conclude about the point X? What is happening? It is moving at point X, shows the car is moving with constant speed or changing speed. Sorry, not constant speed. It is moving with the changing speed or accelerating. So let's look for that. Yes, moving with changing speed, either C or D. Now what about Y? It is moving with a constant speed. So C says point Y is at rest. So no, it is not. It's the wrong answer. Then what about this moving with a constant speed? So the correct answer is option D. Hope you have understood it. Now moving to the next question. 4 objects are moving in a straight line. The table shows the distance moved by each object in each second of its motion. Which object is moving with constant non-zero acceleration? So when you read a question, it is good to bring in the habit of highlighting or underlining the key points so that it would be easy for you to understand and come to a conclusion easily. So here the highlight is, it is moving with a constant speed. Sorry, it is moving with constant acceleration, non-zero acceleration. So constant non-zero acceleration. Suppose an object is moving with zero acceleration. That means what? Zero acceleration means what? No change in speed. It is moving with a constant speed throughout. And if it is having a non-zero acceleration means what? It is accelerating. It can be more or less. Sorry, accelerate. By acceleration, we mean that it is increasing. Am I right? Deceleration, we mean it is decreasing. So by accelerating, we mean that the change of speed would be a higher value, one after the other. So here, what do you see? Option A, distance moved in first second is 5 meters. Distance moved in the second is again 5 meters. So what is the acceleration? There is no acceleration. And what about the distance moved in the third? Again 5. So the change in acceleration is 0. Again it is 0. So it is an example. Option A is an example for 0 acceleration. So it is not our choice. Moving to the second one. The first second, it moves 5 meters. Next second, it moves 6. So the difference is 1. Again, in the next third second, it moves again 7. So the acceleration is constant now. It is a non-zero value as well. So we can conclude that the answer for our question is option B, because it is constant. It is meeting our demand that the acceleration is constant, which is 1, and it is non-zero value as well. So the correct answer is option B. For your understanding, let's take the D part also. So it is moving from 5 to 8. So what is the difference? 3. Again, from 8 to 14, what is the difference? 6. From 14 to 26, the difference is 12. So this is an example for non-zero acceleration. It is not constant. It is an example for just non-zero acceleration. Okay, if the question says constant non-zero acceleration, the correct option is option B. Okay, hope you have understood. Moving to the next question. It is not a multiple choice question. This is from the extended paper 4. So let's look into this graph. It shows a speed time graph for a vehicle accelerating from rest. Okay, so before we proceed with any graphical question, it is important for us to know what each unit signifies. Let's take the x-axis. It represents time. So how much is each unit? Each unit, how much do you think it would be? There are a division of 5, and after 5 division, it is 20. So each unit would be 4 seconds. And what about the above, the vertical axis, the y-axis? It is 5. So each division would be 1 meter per second. Keep this in mind that scaling is important. Okay. So now the A part of the question is calculate the acceleration of the vehicle at time t is equal to 30 seconds. So let's first plot the time t is equal to 30 seconds. Keep in mind uh, each division on the y-axis is 4 seconds. So keeping that in mind, 30 would be somewhere around here on the x-axis, and corresponding to 30, what would be the speed? It would be 14.5 meter per second. But let me tell you, for a speed time graph, if it is a constant speed one, or if it's a if it's a changing speed, and if the acceleration is constant, it would be a straight line, steep line. But here it is you can see a gradual bend and all. It is not a straight line. So how can we find out the acceleration in such cases? Exactly, it is a slope itself, but there is a difference. Here, since it's a slope, we first have to draw the tangent across that point. Remember, it is a 3-mark question, so you cannot simply do the calculation and somewhere else and just write down the answer. This tangent and finding out the slope across it using a triangle method is very important, and it should be shown on the graph. So you have drawn the tangent, and then let's find out the slope across that line. So as you know, each division, the scaling across each division, so the triangle, the slope would be the change on the y-axis divided by the change on the x-axis. Here the y-axis represents speed, so slope is change in speed by x-axis time, so which is change in time. So what is the change in speed across this triangle? 15, this point 15 minus this point 4. So 15 minus this, sorry, this point is 5, right? 5 across the y-axis, and 15 minus 5, and across this x-axis it would be 30 minus 4. So the correct answer is 0.38. Since it's a this in the answer key, they will not give you a specific answer, because this is the triangle that I have chosen. You can choose a different value as well, so the value can change. So the answer key says any value between 0.30 to 0.45 will be awarded marks. So according to the tangent I have drawn and the slope that I have taken, the answer is 0.38 meter per second square. So this is the answer, 0.38 meter per second square. Since it falls under the given answer key range, it is correct. So I hope you have understood how we take the slope and find out the acceleration for such kind of graphs. Now the next question is, it's a B part. Without further calculation, that means you don't have to do any further calculation. Without any mathematical works, state how the acceleration at time t is equal to 100 seconds compares to the acceleration at time t is equal to 10 seconds. So where is that time t is equal to 10 seconds? Okay. And where is time is equal to 100? Yes, there you go. So what do you see over here? The graph is steeper. Am I right? In comparison to this. So we can conclude that the speed is more over here. That is, there is more acceleration. There is more changes happening in comparison to this. Here it is less steeper. That means the acceleration is less. So it is a 2-mark question. So you should have 2 sensible points. So, and also they are asking, using ideas about forces, explain why any change in the acceleration has occurred. You also have to explain why such a change in the acceleration. What are the reasons that could cause the change in the acceleration? So at 10 seconds, the acceleration is more, whereas at 100 seconds, the acceleration is less. So we can write the points as at time t is equal to 100 seconds, the acceleration is decreasing compared to that of 10 seconds. The reason could be either the increasing drag force, or maybe the increasing friction across the tires, and also the reason can be the decreasing driving force. If these 2 points are given, you will get the 2 marks. Now, C part of the question is to determine the distance traveled by the vehicle between time t is equal to 120 seconds and t is equal to 160 seconds. So let's find out whereas t is equal to 120 and 160 exactly. So now how will you find out the distance from a speed time graph? In order to find out the distance, you just need to take out the area. So what is the area? You can form a rectangle shape and a right triangle across the given area. So the area of a speed time graph will give you the distance. So distance is a combination. In this graph, the area is the of a triangle added upon by the area of the rectangle will give you the distance. So you know the relation for triangle. It is area. How will you find? It's half base times height. Half times the base is 160 minus 120. That would be around 40 multiplied by the height. Height is 30 minus 20. That is 10. So half pH is for half times 40 times 10. And what about the area of the rectangle? It is length into breadth. What is the length? 0 to 20, right? So 20 multiplied by again 40. So the answer is 1000 meters. So if in such questions, you should clearly draw on the graph the area. You should shade it across and show how you have got the 1000 meters in the given space. Okay, that shading on the graph is very much important. So if you have understood and if you would like to watch more such videos from past paper topic wise questions, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.